Summertime, så du min, og jeg vild med dig. Summertime, honey, honey, solen danser, du og jeg. Hver evig eneste morgen, der går jeg i skoven. Jeg tager min gummier på, giver hunden snor og synger tar, la 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 la. Om det regner og sner, eller der sol for øjen, yeah, yeah. Så byder jeg stille bånd for dig, og ønsker dig lykke på vejen, så nemlig for du vil.
Hi there, this is your modern shaman Maria in RainbowLand here with the weekly forecast. It starts at the 31st of July and ends at the 6th of August. I'm out here in nature here at our new home on the countryside, an old farm turned into a non-farm, but more rather than a park-ish natural spot in the middle of the oldest forest of Denmark. Such a spiritual capital. It's just close to the ashram, the WAUW ashram, where so much transformation and transmission meditations has been going on since '92. There's kind of like a hole to the sky here, or to the heavens here. The energy is so different. When I came here the first time with the television crew of one of the television stations I was working on years ago, we were driving through the area, and at the time I consciously didn't know there was an ashram here and that the energy was different. And I asked, by chance we drove here, of course we were supposed to pass here, and then I tell the driver, the owner of the television station, he's driving the car, I'm saying, please stop, I need to take a picture right here, and we're just close to this place. I want to live here one day, I say. Why? It's in the middle of nowhere. Okay, I'm saying, you try to look around and then tap into the energy here. Of course, they thought I was some sort of a freak, because, and at the same time they knew what I was talking about. He was also into nature and stuff, but not as spiritual. But they kind of got it or didn't get it, doesn't matter what. I just knew already then that this was where I was gonna live. And then a couple of years later, I discovered the ashram, Heartfulness, Hjelmborg. And I discovered that actually so many people are working on using the energy right here, because it has such a powerful connection to the higher realms. And now the prediction has come true, and I live here. I live in Tokyo. We live in Tokyo, me and my twin flame. Again, I will make a program about twin flames because it's rather interesting. Many people are finding their twin right now because we're incarnating with our counterpart that usually are on the other side, in the other realm, but we are coming down simultaneously because we need to alter something here on the planet Earth. Right now, the energy needs to alter and go from changing from the yang energy, the masculine energy, the patriarchal society, into more matriarchal, yin, feminine. And this has nothing to do with feminism at all. So if you are a guy watching this, Mooney, my dog, she's 15 by the way, Leo. If you're a guy watching this, don't worry, it concerns us all, but especially the guys actually. It doesn't mean that we will let go of the patriarchal good things that we obtain. So of course this doesn't mean that we have to let go of all the good things that we learned through the patriarchal times. We will have a balance between them. You know, it's like any kind of vehicle with too much weight on one side that's driving, misusing one side of the car because there's too much weight on one side and too little on the other. Any kind of vehicle driving like that will be ruined over time or damaged. Anything out of balance, doesn't matter what it is, will eventually have to find its balance, and this is the turning point that we have reached. So it's a connection with Mother Earth. That is the yin energy. With nature. So if you felt more drawn to getting into nature, swimming in the lakes, as you also will see in one of the videos here, connecting, you know, like I'm doing here with the trees, being barefoot, stepping, you know, walking barefoot, feeling the ground, reconnecting with the feminine side. Also being able to listen. That is one of the very, very important parts of this. And I've had it in my life, I've had stuff going on in my life where I've had to explain what I meant by listening, because I would often say to someone, oh, it would be awesome if you could listen a little more to what I was saying. And the person didn't say, well, I am listening, but I felt, no, this person is not listening. And then I had to, you know, then I had to explain and even realize myself, what did I actually mean by that listening? And of course it meant that that person was mentally listening to the words, getting the concept of what I was saying, but was not listening with the heart. It wasn't giving space and room for what I was saying in this person's system. Because the person said, but I don't agree with what you're saying, that's why you feel like I'm not listening. I'm like, I don't need you to agree with what I'm saying, I need you to really hear what I'm saying. You know, because often we tend to interrupt, oh, I already know what you're saying, then we interrupt halfway through the sentences and play the ball back. But that's the masculine ego side, wanting to prove the point, prove one's own point, instead of actually feeling into, where do you come from? We are 7 billion people, 4 million and something people here on this planet. So there's just as many realities, and this means that it's not about being right or wrong. It's about accepting in our hearts and in our whole being where the other person is coming from. That is real listening. And that is a feminine side, a feminine aspect. And whether you're a man or a woman, we're both as bad at it, because we always focus upon giving our opinion instead of receiving what you are coming with. And it's not the mental categorizing, conceptualizing what the other person is saying. I'm talking about listening with the whole body. Just being, allowing yourself to receive, allowing your inner child to come out, allowing your inner world to be real and to be there and have space and room and to have its silent voice. You don't always have to speak to say something. You can just be in a room and be the example, because we need the light workers to stand out now. We need the light workers to come forward, move forward. I have been here with Heartfulness. There's been a seminar because of a master's birthday, and now a family seminar coming up close to this ashram. So people from all over the world has been here, and especially from France and Germany and Russia, Uzbekistan, so many different regions of the world. So I was talking about astrology as the lunar eclipse was there, and there were people that never saw me before, but I was just talking and they saw the blood moon behind me as I was going through the signs. It was spacey because they hadn't gotten any idea of what I looked like, and that was the most awesome moment for me, because they listened with their hearts to what I was saying, not just conceptualizing. They didn't have to focus upon me or whatever. That's why it's nice right now that I am not close to the camera, but you can see the nature, you can see the lake. I don't know how easy it is to see because it's so green, and the green is reflecting in the lake, which is the earth, and the water is the feminine energy. And Muni over there, nature, you know, she has a good, animals has good earth connection because they have 4 legs, so they have something to touch the earth, the ground with. But I was with these people, and I felt this unity, this connection. So look upon your own life. Who is the soul group that you really feel connected to, that gives you something that makes you want to move forward towards being the highest potential of yourself, towards actually making a difference on this planet. Especially I felt this feminine union. I also had a reading with this wonderful, also heartfulness girl or woman, And she was also talking, just as I have been several times around the Cancer eclipse and also to the Cancerians, about how the yin energy needs to come forward. Then she starts during the reading also talking about it, and so many things during the reading came up where we just felt this union so strongly. And the same thing happened with the people from Heartfulness, and we went to swim in a lake. Amongst others, these amazing women, one from Uzbekistan, another one from Russia, Moscow. And we went swimming together in this lake, amongst others. There was also 2 other people. And I talked about this, that we need to bring it forward on the earth and the planet, and they're very spiritual people. For years and years they've been meditating, cleaning and being responsible for the journey here on life, on earth. So one of the women came this morning after morning meditation, satsang at the ashram, and she said, I really felt what you were saying, that's true, that's what we need to do. This is what we need to alter, and we need to not take the manipulative side of the feminine nature and misuse it in ways where we seduce the men to do something for us. That's also power, that's a misuse. What I'm meaning is give space for other people's feelings. It doesn't matter if you agree or not, it's not about agreeing. So the camera overheated. It's not about agreeing, it's about really listening. To hold each other, you know. To make space, to make room for each other. That's when you connect on a heart level. That's where you connect not only with the mind, but with your whole system. And that's what we need to learn as a species now. Because the reason why we are effing up the earth is because we don't listen to her signals anymore. We can't hear her. Because we've trained the mind, the rational mind, to be the only sound we're listening to. But real listening, we forgot. The yin energy is the earth. So we can't hear the earth talk to us anymore. We don't really hear each other. Because especially men are trained to not feel. Oh, you're a real man, Tarzan. You know, you're not supposed to cry. But that's the error. That's spot on the imbalance on this planet. Another example is that we have Mars retrograding, right? And it was even conjuncting more or less this full moon lunar eclipse last week that was so powerful. And Mars is assertiveness and my will this way, it's willpower, you know. So Mars is wanting things to be a certain way. And Mars retrograde is learning to let go of wanting things to be a certain way. Learning to release your idea of that things has to be this way and start being receptive. The yang energy is also Mars, and the yin. The yang energy wants to penetrate, it wants to move forward, it wants to have success, it wants to go this way and da-da-da. It controls it dominates, etc. The yin energy receives. So the yang gives, the yin receives. If you let go of that things has to be a specific way, I want things this way, I want my house to be like this, because of all the Leo, we have the Leo Taurus things activating. You want things to be this way, exactly like that, this is what you desire, this is what you want. But with Mars retrograde, you need to let go of that. And then you can start receiving what your higher self actually wants. So it's also about trusting the process. I always say that a lot. Trust the process. I also say it to myself, of course. I'm just channeling also right now, right? So we need to learn how to trust the process and receive the information. Receive and notice the signs that are all over the place. And this eclipse was just a precursor, as I said 2 weeks ago with the Cancer eclipse, it's just a precursor for what's going to happen and go down over the next 2 years, and it will just intensify. So you better practice your skill of letting go of the need to control. Because then even better ways can be shown to you. The distrust is breaking the harmony, it's ruining the harmony. And distrust is also praying for what you don't want. So start focusing upon what it is you really want. And this channel and my readings as an astrologer, I've noticed that I never get a client that's just one that talks about the superficial things. I get all the light workers that has deep, profound things they want to change on a karmic level. I have Pluto exactly on top of my, in sun sign astrology, in opposition to my sun. On the tip of the 7th house. This means that where I meet other people, I can have the benefits. I can also have the non-beneficial things, but I've learned to deal with it more and more over the years. But I can have the benefits of Pluto going very deep within and transforming on a very deep level. So it's never just, you know, so if you're on this channel and you feel drawn to what I'm saying, even though you also see me, you know, in my designs and maybe looking a little, for some people, some spiritual people, like someone who cannot give a message like this. That's why I said it was nice that people couldn't see my face when I was talking during the blood moon eclipse. They said there were around 30 people at one point, and I didn't even realize who they were, and they didn't know who I was, so I could just channel the messages from the other side, you know, and without focusing on how I look or whatever. So please don't feel distracted by anything like that, and focus upon that. I know that people that are getting attracted to me are here to really join with me, unite with, not just with me, but with the energy of the people, everyone who wants to find the core of their life purpose, to do their duty as a light worker. And to do your duty as a light worker is not necessarily having a lot of followers or likes or being famous for this, and that has nothing to do with how many people you reach, and nothing to do with how many likes you get. You know, this is Leo. These are Leo times while the North Node is still in Leo till October, November. This is about being your true, authentic self. Daring to be that. And once you integrate the yin energy, you automatically touch people around you. You don't even have to speak. But in order to get in there, you have to feel the different things you've been escaping, because the yin energy is also the introversion. And if you have kept running for something on the outside and pushing forward instead of surrendering and receiving, there's some work you need to do, and you're probably already doing it. If you're watching this, you are a spiritual person. Otherwise, you probably left the channel already. The yin energy is also spiritual, because to receive spiritual messages, you have to be open to receive. And the receptive side is the yin, the feminine side. This, of course, again, I have to say, masculine, feminine has nothing to do with man, woman. It's a natural side of you know, the yin and yang symbol, white, black, with the opposite color dot inside of it, integrated in a beautifully harmonious way. So you better be prepared, because this is just the first out of some eclipses that are going to be intensified. So better learn to release and surrender, let go of the things that you no longer need. You don't need to control things. Let them go. When you clash with someone or something, practice your yin energy. Don't react. See if you can hold them in your space with no words. That way it can be healed, whatever they're going through. They're just projecting, perhaps, or maybe they're mirroring something inside of you that you need to look upon. But you cannot listen with your whole system and hear your higher self speaking if you're always on the I want this quest of your ego or your willpower. So now we are asked to turn down our yang energy while Mars is moving retrograde. We also have Mercury moving retrograde, so the rational mind that wants to figure all things out needs to let go and reconsider instead, revise, in order for a new period to come. Okay, my dog is getting inappropriate. This is essential also in your relationships. If you think about the times where you and your partner, in any kind of partner, so business partner, any friends, where you haven't understood each other simply by the fact that you didn't accept and recognize that their reality was just as real as yours. And as we open up to our spirituality, which is also the yin energy, the intuition is very much Cancer. We have to focus upon that for the next couple of years. The third eye. Then it's so much easier for us to accept the different realities there are. And we will have less quarrels, less confrontation, less problem. Wherever the South Node is where we feel trapped, and it's in Aquarius, close to Mars. So there can be an underlinement of what the Aquarius energy, the downside of the Aquarius energy is that you just have a revolting or revolution for the sake of the revolution, or the revolting trying to change something that maybe even doesn't even needs to be changed. So that I strongly encourage you not to do. Also, if you look upon, like, it's also humanitarian organizations, and there have been so much in the media around that they use all the money on salaries, and none of the money actually goes to the people that people pay to help, like stuff like that. There are many different examples, but I would rather focus upon where we could go potentially as a community, as a society, rather than focus upon what could go wrong. So the yin energy is just softness. You know, allowing a soft side to come out. Like my partner always say, oh, this is your sweet, soft side. And you can hear it when my voice turns in a specific way. And he's good at it. He has a good energy, yin energy. He has a strong balance between the yang and the yin. He's very masculine at the same time as he's very feminine. He has both sides, and you don't lose anything. Oh, Moon is still here. I mean, you don't lose any dignity as a man for doing that. This is what gives him the most strength, is that he has this balance. It's so much stronger to have your feminine and your masculine side being in balance. So that rawness that we have seen at it, oh, it's cool, you know, we have tattoos all over and be raw and right. I'm not saying there's anything bad in having tattoos, that's not what I mean. It's just that I come from a town, a harbor town, where there was so much rawness, and always heavy and death metal, and that's also something you can ground by that, and you can face your demons. So it's not that this should not be there at all. It's just that there's been an imbalance between that we have to be masculine and raw and move forward and push through, and to just let our soft side show. So it's about trusting, because of course some of us that have shown our soft side and has been knocked down for doing it can have some fear about showing the spiritual side of you, showing your weaknesses. But there's a strength. The cool people are the ones who dare to actually show their weaknesses. Oh, I just wanted to check out that she was not jumping into the water now. Went to the lake yesterday, she loved that. So let your sweetness come through, man or woman, and inspire others to do so, is what I encourage you to do. And trust the process. Let go of the need to control. One of the songs we made, the duo, Maria, Dahol and I, we made in 2002. It's a song. It's very much in connection with the feminine. Because, and I will sing it before we go into your personal sun sign. Something to do with your breath as well, because in any inhale is followed by an exhale. But if we keep taking in, wanting more and more, we don't release, that balance is also bad for the body, you know. like when we are very stressed, and breathe only up here, and we never breathe in to our stomach and feel the whole body. Then we lose the earth connection and the calm, the peace, the balance. Because we take in more and more and more, but we never release and surrender the out breath. There's many yoga practices and meditations. Again, I always encourage you to find the right meditation form for you, or yoga, or whatever can make you go a little more into. I always recommend heartfulness because I've tried so many different throughout the last 20 years systems, and this is just by far the most powerful one. You can always write me, look at the email in the text, if you want to know where there is a free, because it's a free organization. People do it voluntarily, so there are people all over the world. That's just as I said, the women I was connecting to, and also some men, not some men, many women and women all over the world that are here to help you if you want to learn how to meditate and get the transmission, because in heartfulness you get the level of the meditation turned up like ×5. It's not mindfulness, because we want to get out of the mind and into the heart. That's why it's called heartfulness. But the breath is important, the inhale and the exhale. And sometimes if you make the exhale longer, you let go more easily. So in 2002 we made this song. It goes like this. Breathe in the summer magic, breathe out. Feel the wind by the sea as you're walking with me. Breathe in, relax your body, breathe out. Feel the heat of the sand as we walk hand in hand. A day without rain, I feel alright. Horizons of lights on a darker day. Warm winds of change, it's a good life. Horizons will light up the way. Yeah. So this is also about the glasses you wear. You know, if we choose to see the light, it's gonna be there because we manifest like this, what we think. Our thoughts are strong, stronger than we sometimes realize. Quantum healing is instant healing. There's nothing weird about it. It's you choosing to heal a part of yourself. It's you choosing to go another direction. Warm winds of change. You choose if they're cold or they're warm. The downside of Aquarius is that it can be cold. Co-ruled by Saturn, which is cold. You can always hear if people are following their hearts because it's warm. You feel it feels warm what they're saying and doing. Also with yourself. But if you have trust and an open, warm heart, and you follow your heart, no matter what others say, the change will be good eventually. So keep staying on that track. We're having Uranus doing some things this week, but I'll mention that in your personal sun sign. This was for all the signs. And as I always keep saying, for me, the collective report is the most important, because we need to have a paradigm shift that's happening, whether we like it or not now. And as I sang in the song, hand in hand, we need to walk, because united we stand so much taller. Let's go to the personal signs. Yeah. The interesting thing that I found, or that I saw now during these times where we need to learn about the yin energies, precursor for the next couple of years, is that I don't see the manipulation anymore. Because one of the reasons why it's been hard for the world at large to take in the feminine energy is because the female's ability to manipulate and use their intuition or their, skills, our skills in a negative way. So I really feel that the women that I'm connecting with right now are my sisters, everyone. I also feel men, like yesterday when we were swimming in the ocean, really, we were swimming at the sea and also at the ashram, meditating together, eating together. They call each other sisters and brothers, and they see the women as sisters, someone they can unite with, not in a sexual way or wanting to conquer or dominate, but rather wanting to connect with. But I feel it really, really obviously because I always felt competition that, females between them, like, oh, you're wearing the nicer dress, or you are more beautiful than me, or you have a more pretty voice, or whatever, competing in a way where there was jealousy and there was, distance. But now I feel the union, the sisterhood coming up. And the less we can be as women, manipulative and using the feminine power in a negative way, but taking advantage of the intuition that also allows us to feel where the men are instead of always judging them, to just hold them in our space. The more attractive it is for the males to integrate the feminine force within them. So let's all the women here, let's try to be the best versions of the feminine to show the way, and all the men out there who actually have a very strong feminine side, intuition, a capability of staying in their emotions and feelings and having their inner child intact, etc. Because many women, most women don't know how to use their femininity. I come from a very masculine harbor town, where when I expressed my femininity, it was suppressed, attempted suppressed. Even by the women, they were not very romantic and they were not very emotional. They were not, So this is not about men and women. It's about integrating it at society at large. In society at large. Hi there, Aquarius. So this is your personal sun sign now. Oh, there's a little dog. Oh, this little dog is definitely stepping on all of my stuff over here. I'm sorry for this abrupt beginning. Okay, so the collective report is of course just as important as this, which is why I put it at first this time for every sun sign, and let the personal sun sign come afterwards. So what I want to say this week is to begin with a song. And just a second. Oops. And whenever I get start a reading, before I actually go in front of the camera, I often get a song, like I get messages through songs, like some clairvoyants or some mediums or some channelers or intuitive guides or whatever you want to call it. We all make such high words about it. Really, it's just a natural thing of connecting to another dimension that we all can connect to pretty much. So it's not even that special, even though it's considered it to be. Then I often get it through songs. I get a song stuck in my brain, and that's kind of like having a message one way or the other. And this week is a little bit odd because the message that I have for you is, I get around, get around, I get around, yeah, get around, I get around. Let me lift it a little bit because otherwise it gets too deep. I get like them up and down the same old street. I got a new place where the kids are hip. My body's in me, we're getting real well known. Yeah, the bad guys know, and then they leave us alone. I get around, round, get around, I get around, yeah, I get around, etc. Okay, so I still haven't figured out what the message is, but it will come. First of all, though, there is one thing. And I think that it's because, you know, it's about that union with other people that you guys have, and then there comes the point where it says we're getting real well known, and that's the Leo thing, and that's all the things going on in your 7th house, and you being forced to move towards you on being on stage, you standing out from the group. And I know I keep repeating the same thing over and over and over again, and I know that probably you'll start to be like, can't this girl start talking about something else? It's a horoscope, but there's a very good aspect between your two rulers, modern ruler, old ruler, Uranus and Saturn. Uranus in your 4th house and Saturn in your 12th house. So this time you may benefit from your emotional home, family life, your inner child in connection with this more spiritual, quiet side of your nature. You benefit from something going on here in this sector from your family, and sometimes that's soul family, even it's also, especially when it's connected to the 12th house. So it doesn't have to be a blood related family. It can be a family that some people that you consider family, which is often many for an Aquarius, right? There will be an opportunity to really enjoy togetherness in this regard. But then again, at the same time, there's a square between Mars in your sign in your 1st house and the same Uranus in your 4th. So it could also be coming a conflict between you as you are and someone within your family. Maybe you being in conflict with your own emotional something to do with your own emotions in regards to some relation, you know, over there in Leo, because we have Mercury retrograding in your 7th house, and this may be some old relation where you've thought about some stuff that comes up again and you need to deal with it. In the personal life, some feelings going on is repeated from an inner conflict of yours between your identity and your inner emotional life, or some family members are coming to the surface again. It was there last time in May. I mentioned it a couple of times when Mars went retrograde that this was coming up. So in May you had some kind of conflict that's going to be repeated again now. But in a new light, because it's the 2nd time out of 3 that this passes. When Mars goes forward again, it's going to pass it once more. So just be aware of that and try to put on the positive glasses and see what you can learn from it. How can you improve from this thing that's being shown in your face? It can be a positive improvement home-wise, because it's at the same time it has the positive aspect to Saturn, your co-ruler in your 12th house, behind the scenes stuff and releasing of old stuff. So you still need to release, but you get around, get around. I'm still a little curious about why this coming up, because your 9th house Libra is not in play here, which is the traveling sign, and like your 3rd house it's not activated either, but it used. I'm not sure yet what this means, but maybe it can mean that you get to meet a lot of different people with all the stuff going on in Leo. Yeah, of course that's it. Relationship-wise, like people coming in and out, you meeting a lot of people. Maybe be careful not to misunderstand or miscommunicate stuff. Be a little bit more attentive when it comes to that because of the retrograde, and also turn your face, your vision inwardly during these times. Even though a little festive excitement is also, you know, allowed on the table. I mean, if Beach Boys were really like this, the ones that made this song back when I was not even born, wasn't it? When was it made? This in the middle of the 70s or something. The song, the Beach Boys songs I get around, they were definitely festive. They were like surfers, surfing USA. They made. Okay, let me just calm down. What I wanted to say is that this week maybe there's some partying going on for you. I mean, Beach Boys was kind of starting, get this party started on a Saturday night. So maybe you get around and get out there and with your dancing shoes on and express yourself. Yeah. Things are turning for the Aquarius. I met this amazing Aquarian woman, and I won't say too much because then some people will be able to figure out who she is, during this heartfulness thing that I just talked about. And she was very positive. She felt that, yeah, she could definitely sign that a lot had been going on, but she was moving forward and could feel the positive vibes, could feel like now some good energy is coming, and the changes, winds of change, warm winds of change. She's also spiritual, so she's really embracing the 12th house. And even if you are, it can still feel hard though. But the more you embrace the letting go and the releasing and surrendering and just being one with God and all there is, or whatever you want to call it, love. I mean, love is often misunderstood in this connection, but of course it is some kind of unconditional, limitless, no boundary love. But when we talk about love, it's just so hard, because do we really know what it means to truly love? I mean, because there's a difference between human love and the love that's needed between a mother and a child, and the love that you have for all there is when you connect to God. If you ever had that experience, I mean, I don't know, often the people watching this channel has had spiritual experience where you feel that love that's greater than all, because in that love you love it all. But for some people the word love is also, it has been used quite a lot. So yeah, languages can be very limiting sometimes, right? Just try to feel into what it is that I'm trying to say. What else is going on this week? Well, last week of Venus in Virgo in your 8th house, so there's definitely also transformations on the table here, in a positive way, because it's Venus, it's a benefic, so it will shine a light upon it in a very nice way. So ride that horse into a new dawn of something inside of you or within your relationships. It can also be that you really connect with someone very attractive and very, appealing to you in a, way. Then, of course, we have Jupiter. We have Jupiter in Scorpio, in your 10th house, career house, making still a trine to Neptune in your 2nd house. So maybe there's something good going on for you financially in your work life that you can thrive upon some way. But anyways, there's a lot going on in your relationship still, and yeah, I hope that the blood moon lunar eclipse went well for you guys. And me and Mooney, just the only thing we have left to say, the line over here, is don't follow trends, follow your heart. Woohoo! Yay! And Aquarius, the thing I said about the feminine side, maybe that's a little awkward for you because it's King Konging, Cancer's King Konging your sun, but you will definitely benefit from integrating this yin energy into your life as well. So best of luck with that.
Easy sliding down on me. You are now in my arms forever, all the way eternity. easy sliding down on me. You are now in my arms forever, all the way eternity. Set you free to be loved. My easy sliding down on me. You are now in my arms forever, all the way eternity. Set you free to be loved. My Summertime, summertime. Så du er min, og jeg er vild med dig.